Welcome to Resurrector Bike Repair's online tutorials on bike care and maintenance. In today's video we are going to be going over what the different parts of a bike are called. Some of this may be really simple and you may know a lot of this already. Some of it may be new to you. It's important to know what the proper names for parts of your bike are so that when it comes time to bring your bike into a shop to get serviced, when you're talking to the mechanic, you can explain to them what the issues you're having are. You can tell them the specific part of the bike that you have the issue with. When they're talking to you about the work that they've done, when they're naming different parts of the bike and saying I worked on such and such a part, you know what that part is that they're talking about. Just help the communication process when it comes to bike repair to go a lot more smoothly. So we're going to start with the first one. Is a big obvious one, is the frame of the bike. The frame of the bike is the main portion of the bike that everything else is attached to. Secondly, we're going to go to, at the front of the frame here, is the fork. This is the fork here that comes down on either side of the front wheel. That's what the front wheel is attached to. Next, we're going to go into a group of parts together that are known as the contact points on the bike. These are the parts of the bike that when you're riding, you are in contact with. So we have the pedals, the saddle, and the handlebars. The handlebars are connected to the rest of the bike by a piece called the stem, which is this piece here. In this same area we have what is known as the headset. The headset is a set of bearings at the top point here and the bottom point here. Those bearings are what allow your handlebars to turn. They connect the fork to the frame of the bike. Together those set of bearings are referred to as the headset. Moving on now, we have our wheels. Wheels, the basic components to a wheel, you have your tire, the rubber on the outside, you have your rim, which is the part the tire connects to, you have spokes, and then at the center you have your hub. While we're down in this area, I'm going to show you on this bike with disc brakes. We have the brake caliper, which is this unit here that is the main central part of the brake. Inside the brake caliper we have brake pads. Those are the actual braking material that are replaceable. And then you have your brake rotor or disc, which is the piece that those pads pinch onto. Move back up towards the handlebars and we now have our shifters, or in this case brake lever and shifter combined. So pulling them in will activate the brakes, and then the shifting mechanism part is pushing it sideways either way to actuate your shifters. We'll then move on to a part of the bike together combined is known as the drivetrain. The drivetrain consists of the crankset. The crankset is made up of your crank arms and the chain rings. So the crank arms are the piece that connect the pedals to the bike. The chain rings are the gears at the front of the bike. And together the crank arms and chain rings are what is referred to as the crankset. You then have your chain. Your chain comes back to the gears on the back of your bike. The gears on the rear wheel are known as the cassette. We then have derailleurs. So you have your rear derailleur. This is the mechanism that actually causes the shifting on the rear of the bike. And you have your front derailleur. This piece here, this is the derailleur cage on the front, and the actual spring mechanisms are in here. This is what shifts gears on the front of the bike. Finally, inside, underneath here, through the frame, is another set of bearings that allow your pedals to actually turn. That set of bearings is what is known as the bottom bracket. So that is a general overview of all of the parts of a bike. Hopefully that's helped out a little bit, and maybe there were some parts that you didn't know what the specific names were. Hopefully this helps you when it comes time to get work done on your bike. You can identify those parts and make it a little bit easier to communicate with your mechanic and understand what they've done and help explain to them what needs to be done. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.